Hello, my name is Shelley Meyer, and I am the Harrison County Family and Consumer Science Agent. Today we're going to be talking about Move Your Way, Exercise for Everybody. This PowerPoint was put together by Dr. Natalie Jones, who used to work at the University of Kentucky as one of their Extension Family Health Specialists. Much of the material that we will go over throughout this PowerPoint comes from the book Introducing the Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans, 2nd edition. What is physical activity? We will discuss exercise through these learning objectives. First, we'll talk about 3 types of physical activity, and then we'll move into some of those benefits to the overall health, some recommendations, examining how physical activity impacts health, and identifying ways to be physically active. The first of the physical activities that we will discuss is aerobic, which can be defined as the activity in which the body's large muscles move in a rhythmic manner for a sustained period of time. And this can be done with 3 components of intensity, frequency, and duration. Intensity is how hard a person works to do the activity, which are often categorized through moderate or vigorous. And frequency is how often a person does the aerobic activity, and duration would be how long the person does the activity in any one session. Next, let's look at muscle strengthening, which is defined as physical activity, including exercise, that increases skeletal muscle strength, power, endurance, and mass. 3 components here would be intensity, frequency, and sets and repetitions, where intensity is how much weight or force is used relative to how much a person is able to lift. Frequency would be how often a person does muscle strengthening activities. And then sets and repetitions would be how many times a person does the muscle strengthening activity, like lifting a weight or doing push-ups. Finally, let's look at bone strengthening, which is defined as those physical activity exercises that produce an impact or tension force on the bones, which promotes bone growth and strength. These are also called weight-bearing or weight-loading activities, and it is important to note that bone strengthening activities can also be aerobic and muscle strengthening. Let's look at how we can define intensity. For moderate intensity, we would consider 5 or 6 on a scale of 0 to 10. Vigorous intense activities would be more rated 7 or 8 on a scale of 0 to 10. The talk test is another way to kind of gauge that intensity level while exercising. So as a rule of thumb, a person doing moderate intensity aerobic activity can talk but not sing during the activity. However, a person who might be doing vigorous, intense level activity cannot say more than a few words without pausing for a breath. Consider moving more and sitting less. Sedentary behavior increases the risk of all-cause mortality, cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, colon, endometrial, and lung cancers. Inactive adults replacing sedentary behavior with just a light, intense physical activity can produce some health benefits. Anyone replacing sedentary behaviors with moderate to vigorous activity will see even greater benefits. Therefore, any activity counts. Adults and youth are encouraged to move frequently and throughout the day. Most benefits are attained with at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate physical activity per week. And some health benefits are immediate. For example, reducing anxiety and blood pressure, improvement in the quality of sleep. I always like to think of physical activity as a preventative step or cure-all for a lot of things. But we often think of exercise as something to help with weight gain, but it can be so much more. This list includes several of those benefits, including lowered risk for diseases and illnesses, bone health, mental health, and improved sleep. New Health categorizes benefits with short-term and long-term, as well as disease management. Let's review some key guidelines. Preschool-age children, 3 to 5 years old, should have physical activity incorporated throughout their day, each and every day, and doing activities that they enjoy. Our 6 to 17-year-old children and adolescents should be getting 60 minutes or more of moderate to vigorous intensity leveled activities, and should include vigorous activities such as running and soccer, muscle strengthening activities such as climbing and push-ups, as well as bone strengthening activities such as gymnastics and jump roping. Adults ages 18 to 64 should be getting at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity activity such as brisk walking, with at least 2 days a week being strengthening for muscles. And finally, we look at 65 years and older adults, which should be getting at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intense workouts that can include brisk walking. They also should be getting 2 days a week of muscle strengthening and should be including activities that will help improve their balance, such as standing on one foot. Examples when looking at moderate intense workouts for adults can include at least 150 minutes of aerobic activity, which would be anything that gets your heart beating faster than normal. Muscle strengthening, those 2 days a week, should be activities that would work your muscles harder than usual. How do we balance exercise into a busy schedule? Consider getting the same benefits in half the time by stepping it up to vigorous, intense aerobic activity. This would be aiming for at least 75 minutes a week for activities such as hiking uphill, swimming laps, heavy yard work, and jump roping. When thinking about safe physical activity guidelines, understand the risk. Physical activity can be safe for almost everyone. Choose activities that are appropriate for current physical fitness levels. Increase that physical activity gradually and over time. Protect yourself by using appropriate gear and sports equipment, choosing safe environments, and following rules and policies. Use healthcare provider guidance if you have a chronic condition, symptoms, or are pregnant, and work with specialists to find the appropriate movements for you. Kentucky obesity rates are higher than the national average. Individuals with a 30 MBI or body mass index or higher are considered obese. Physical inactivity is defined as the percentage of adults who reported doing no physical activity or exercise other than their regular job in the past 30 days. U.S. currently has a value of 22%, and Kentucky rates higher with physically inactive adults at 30%. We do see a prevalence of physical inactivity higher in females over males, adults that are ages 65 and older, Hispanics, Black, American Indian, and Alaska Native, adults ages 25 or older with less than a high school education, and adults 25 and older with an annual household income less than $25,000. As a reminder, physical activity is for everybody. Discuss the benefits and physical activity guidelines with your healthcare provider. Move more and sit less. Change a little at a time. Consult certified fitness professionals and have fun. And now it is time for a movement break. There are a list of some of the activities that you can do from right there where you're sitting in a chair or standing that your SCS agent should have available. You can use some of this time to go ahead and practice a few of those exercises and stretches and then be ready to implement them on your own or with another group or at your Homemaker Club meetings later. If you have any questions over today's presentations, please reach out to your Family and Consumer Science agent and she can get you in touch with me or help you find those answers. Thank you today and happy exercising!